Hello there everyone, welcome back to the final part of my One Piece Paramount War set review. I hope you've been enjoying these videos so far. If you have, please do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content. Incidentally, if you're interested in competitive children's trading card game content coming out, before tournaments, giving you the up-to-date information, giving you my testing results, giving you my thoughts, and obviously access to basically ask me any questions you could possibly think of, please do check out my Patreon page, linked in the description. The support on there has really been quite heartwarming and I'm very, very excited about the number of patrons who have showed interest, and I really do think I've been providing some excellent content there, so please do check that out if you're interested. I would really appreciate it. This is the kind of stuff you'd be seeing well earlier. There's, I think, a reasonable catalogue of content on there now, and far, far, far more to come. Enough shilling, let's jump into the video. So we are going to be talking about black. This is the new colour from Paramount War, by far the colour I am most excited for. I will personally be max raritying this shit day one if I can. Expect to see a hella blinged out deck profile coming as soon as possible. With the look, okay, I'm just gonna be honest, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think black is particularly crazy in this set. Like, spoiler alert, I don't think it's like broken or anything, but it's super fun. And I have a tournament like the weekend after release. I have that championship event, and I know black is probably not the deck you should be taking to be competitively viable, but look, we got so many tournament events that we're going to be getting over this year. I don't care. I'm only going to get one chance to play black like the weekend of release if I can bling it out. So if I can bling out this deck, get it fully max rarityed, I will be taking it to that championship series event. That is a promise you are getting here. You can hold me accountable. Incidentally, if you guys are in London and you are getting product, or even in the UK, it could probably ship fast enough to get to me, and you want to help me with my mission of maxing this deck out, I'm going to need the super pre-release, like foil commons and uncommons. I'm going to need the alternate art super rares, the alternate art rares, like the alternate art leaders. DM me, add me on Discord, join my Discord server, or message me, ping me, whatever. Help me out. I would really appreciate it. Okay, right, this is getting out of hand. Let's get to the actual content. It's been 2 minutes into the video. You guys don't give a shit. Okay, so we're not going to talk about the leaders, but I will say they are all very, very interesting, and I think are going to be excellent to discuss in the next video in the series, where I will be discussing all the leaders and ranking them. But let's jump into the units, because I think these are very, very interesting. So firstly, we will start with Iska. So this is, in many ways, the mum saying we have Hawkins at home, right? This is Don 1 once per turn when this character battles and KOs your opponent's character, set this character is active. So this being a 3/4, whilst it has a counter, which is certainly a plus, and it is easy to play on curve, which is again certainly a plus. Being able to play this on turn 2 could be very, very scary for your opponent. It's very easy to out by nature of being a 3-cost. It can be rested by literally everything green does. It can be popped by basically everything in the game, and it has to KO. Now, of course, that's not actually an issue necessarily most of the time. If you just put enough dons onto it, it is certainly going to KO. It's going to get value. You're going to be able to attack with it again, but you are investing quite a lot into a card that is unlikely to really be doing that much. I will say, I think this is quite a nice tech card if we are going into a very heavy Zoro meta, because you are going to be needing to clear those small dudes. So if you actually slap on like 2 to 3 Don onto this card, 2 is probably enough. Swinging 6k into your opponent's like Sunnykun, like or 7k into your opponent's Sunnykun, like, are they really going to be dropping like that much counter, like 5k counter, to stop you getting value? Nah, they're probably not, and then you're going to be able to kill 2 things, and I think that's quite valuable. Anyway, I'm coping over why this card is playable. It's fine. Onigumo, this is a 5/6 with 1k counter. If there is a character with a cost of 0 in play, this character gains banish. So this is potentially good, but the problem is it is very much reliant on your opponent like letting you get this set up, and that can be very, very, very annoying. A lot of the times, the units that you are going to have in play that are actually very easy to get to a 0 cost are going to be things like blockers, which you kind of want out of the way if you're going to try and hit with something with banish. And this is unfortunately a passive effect, so it's not going to be something that, as soon as something hits 0, now I have it for the turn, now I can deal with it. No, this isn't like Smoker's leader effect, so yeah, this card is not particularly good in my opinion. The first of the Admirals, Kuzan. This is an on-play draw a card. When attacking, reduce the cost of up to one of your opponent's characters by 4 during this turn. This is a staple 4 of in every single black deck. And spoiler alert, I'm going to be saying that for every single Admiral. They are all staple 4 of. Some a little bit better than others. Kuzan is honestly probably the worst. And A card that says draw and also let me kill your ship really easily being the worst of the admirals is probably an indication of the power level of these particular cards. I think they are quite pushed. I think these admirals are going to see play at bare minimum at 3 copies and most likely at 4 in black from now for at least a year. I just don't see them leaving the deck. They are way too good unless it completely changes focus. Next, Comel, this is a vanilla, which we'll never see play. Kobe, this is a 3/4 with a 1k counter. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. So this is one of the few actually, like, decent removal cards that you don't really need to do a huge amount to make work. Now, that being said, ultimately, like, losing 2 cards from your hand to KO one thing isn't fantastic. Of course you can rationalize it, and of course it is potentially very, very strong if you start throwing a few reductions in cost in there. If Kobe is killing a 5, 6, or 7 cost, suddenly that feels very, very, very good. And it does have a 1k counter, so in those situations where you're not able to use it, of course, you feel perfectly fine about just ditching it as a counter. I think this card is decent, doesn't see play in every single black deck, but I think it is certainly very, very playable. Sakazuki, this is probably the second best Admiral, I think, but that's mainly because Borsellino is unbelievably broken. This is a 6/7. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. This card is so good. Throwing the donut out. I do kind of wish that Ace was a 5 cost, just because we'd have that little interaction. But anyway, yeah, I think this card is unbelievably strong. A Sakazuki on curve is dealing with whatever the hell your opponent has done on their turn 5 curve, and because you went second, you always have the card for it. So this is amazing. Of course, Sakazuki with any cost reductions becomes unreal good value. The only problem with this card is it doesn't have counter, right? So if you see too many of them, it can brick you, but a 6/7, so it's 7k, your opponent's going to be, you know, having to invest some heavy resources into dealing with it, and of course, it's really nuking one of your opponent's heavily invested into units. I think this card is phenomenal. Django, this is a 2/3 with 1k counter. If you have a full body in play, this character cannot be KO'd by battle. As with basically every single one of these janky 2-card combos, this is unplayable. Strawberry, 4/5. When attacking, if there is a character with a cost of 0, your opponent cannot activate the blocker of any character with a cost of 5 or less during this battle. Again, one of those really annoying niche cards. I think this is better than Onigumo, whilst it doesn't have a 1k counter. The fact that you are going to be reducing likely like the cost of one of those blockers to 0 means that, like, oh, this is actually relevant. And the other thing is, this has a character with a cost of 5, but if you're blanketly cost reducing, for example, if you have a 10-drop Kuzan out on the board, well, actually this just can't be stopped. So I think there is some potential here. I think this card, there's potentially some room for exploration on the viability of this card, but it does strike me as something that's more likely to be jank than good, especially with it not having a counter and being quite so, you know, mid in terms of stat line. Potential. Not crazy, but potential. Smoker, this is a 3/4 with a 1k counter. This character cannot be KO'd by effects, and when attacking, if there's a character with a cost of 0 in play, this character gains 2k power during this battle. Now, potentially, just having a 3/6 is very, very good value. The downside, of course, is you need to make it a 3/6, and that can be challenging. I think this card is cute, but, you know, for all the reasons that Isekai is, like, very easy to deal with, Smoker is also very easy to deal with. Granted, this cannot be KO'd by effects, but it certainly can be rested, it certainly can be bounced and all that sort of stuff. So I think this card is fine. I would much rather play the starter deck Smoker, who is a 5 cost, 7k power, with the same effect, and potentially getting double attack if you meet that condition. I think that's a much better card. Sengoku, this is a 2k counter, 2/3, Don 1 when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 to their cost during this turn. Now, the odds of you actually getting this on the board and it sticking and being able to use it in this meta are very, very low. This is a Vista target, this is like, you know, an easy Robin target, this is just getting removed very, very easily, and obviously the turn you attack with it, that's it, it's your one use. It is a 2k counter though, and for that reason it sees play, because it's a 2k counter. Sentomaru, this is a 2/3 with a trigger to play the card, but I believe this saw niche play when Zoro was kind of running around everywhere before black players realized, wait, we KO small things, why are we doing this? So yeah, this is not playable. The art is great though, I feel like really wasted artwork. Toshigi, this is a 3/5, no counter, Don 1, when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters -3 to their cost during this turn. So you think, wow, this is not actually half bad, and you're right, it's not half bad, but have I told you about Kuzan? Have you read Kuzan? Yeah, no reason to ever play Toshigi when Kuzan exists. Tsuru, this is your best 2k counter. This is a 1/0 2k counter. On play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 -2 cost during this turn. This is amazing. Sometimes, you know, if you need a character to be at 0 cost, this will make them at 0 cost. If you need a character to be within your kill range from your effect, this will make that happen. And it's a 2k counter. This is absolutely your best 2k counter. Sees heavy play. This is the first 2k counter I include in every single black deck. Doberman, this is a bad card. Don Quixote Rocinante, this is your 2-drop 2k blocker. This absolutely does see play. You are able to establish quite a suite of blockers in black if you so wish, and Rocinante is absolutely one of those. And of course, the foil art looks fantastic. Jaguar D Soul, this guy is vanilla, so he is fine. Hina, this is a 5/6 with a 1k counter. Blocker, on block, choose up to one of your opponents, cost 6 or lower characters. The chosen character cannot attack during this turn. This is a very interesting card. Of course, the cost 6 here is only going to be cost 6, so you're not really doing any cost reduction during your opponent's turn. Again, I think this is one of the ones where it might not have really been explored very much. I think this is quite decent. Of course, you know, if your opponent just hasn't got a massive board, then this is worse. But I don't know, man. I just feel like it's 6k, so if your opponent just swings 5 with leader, you can throw it into it, and it's fine. And then you can just stop a second attack, unless it's like a 7 cost or bigger, which there's not going to be that many of them. I don't know. I think this card is pretty decent. Doesn't really see play right now, but maybe it could. I think there's certainly potential for it to do so. It's in mono black anyway, for sure. Full body, this is a 2/3. When attacking, if you have a Django, this character gains 3k power during this battle. So obviously a 2/6 is great, but again, like there's, you know, having that combo is just never going to happen. It's just never going to happen. Bellemare, this is a, Belmare. This is a 1/1. Activate main. You may rest this character. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 cost during this turn. Then up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 1k power during this turn. So this is essentially Smoker's leader effect on a stick, right? But I don't know, man. I just don't know why I would ever play this. It's getting instantly dealt with on the next turn. It's not like I can just sit here and get value out of it turn off, turn off, turn off, turn. Yeah, I don't think this is very good. Helmeppo. This is a 3/3. When attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during this turn. Then, if there's a character with a cost of 0, this character gains plus 2k power during this battle, and the trigger plays this card. This is actually potentially decent. It becomes a 3/5. It does the cost reduction of -2, and it has a 1k counter. This is okay. I could see you maybe playing this in mono black. It's possibly the most borderline inclusion card I've ever read. It's really just about maybe playable. I'm certainly never going to be writing any reviews about that's Helmeppo saved me the game. He's crazy. Unlikely. I'm probably just coping over this card being even remotely playable. It's very mid. My man Borsalino, this is the best black card. It's not even close. This card is unbelievable. On your opponent's turn, this character cannot be KO'd by effects. It gains 1k power, and it has blocker. This is a 6k blocker. Your opponent cannot pop it, and it's a 1k counter as well. Oh, value for days. This card is unbelievable. This card is so good. 4 of anything that can play black, you are playing Borsalino at 4. That is non-negotiable. It is included. Every single one. Every single one. This card is so cracked. Monkey D. Garp. This is a 2 cost 3k. 2k counter. John 2 when attacking K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 0. I would say this is your second best 2k counter. I really do think Suru is better. Of course, the alt art goes very hard. And sometimes this is relevant. In particular, in something like Smoker, being able to just deal with chump blockers on a Garp attack and get a 5k swing in. Very nice. Of course, in combination with something like a Kuzan, which we'll talk about later, this card starts punching above its weight very quickly. I think this card is quite good. Certainly worthy of an inclusion. I would say, you know, you're playing between 8 and 12 2k counters anyway, and the first 2 I would be including are going to be Tsuru, then Monkey D. Garp, and then Sengoku after that. Finally, we've got a 3/5 vanilla. Of course, that's a lie. We've got the secret rare card. I don't know how they put it after. Kuzan. This alt art goes so hard. So this is an unbelievably powerful card. This is a 10/10. 10/10. Okay, so it's your turn 5. That's all you're doing. All your opponent's characters get -5 to their cost. On play, go up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 0. So this enters play, it pops a 5 or less. Then you have a blanket -5 cost to everything. So this, in combination with Zed, is incredibly powerful on that turn. That's the swing turn of the game. If you survive that turn, you're probably winning because then your opponent's board is gone. Even outside of that, in mono black, this is dealing with something big, and then you are set up for the game from there. Your ability to pop, now Sakazuki pops anything, right? Your Kobe's pop, the 1 cost Kobe pops 5 or less. The 3 cost Kobe pops an 8 or less. You suddenly start seeing like these cards really get out of hand, right? This in combination with the Tsuru popping a 7 or less with any of your poppers. This in combination with a other Kuzan on board, suddenly you're popping a 9 or less with the greatest of ease. Of course, you can swing with the Kuzan first, and now it's going to pop a 9 or less the turn you bring it into play. Lots of combos there. This card is absolutely incredible. Very, 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 very strong. This will be included in black for some time, I think. Probably the worst of the admirals, like on balance, because of how expensive it is, because it doesn't have a counter, and there's all these sort of negatives about it, but it is a very, very powerful card. Finally, we'll finish up with the events. Ice Age. This is a 1-cost event. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -5 cost during this turn. The trigger KOs up to one of your opponent's characters cost of 3 or less. Very nice trigger. The effect here, if we enter... basically, the problem with this is the format is much more focused around lower costs than higher costs, and therefore this card is a lot less good because you can't deal with lower costs relatively easily. But if you have a format where you are dealing with lots of 8, 9, and 10 costs, Ice Age becomes incredibly powerful in letting you just deal with them very, very easily. I think this card is very, very decent. Something you want to be considering in deck building, depending on the format. Yasakani Sacred Jewel. This is a 1-drop counter. You may trash a card from your hand, choose up to one of your characters. The character cannot be KO'd during this battle. So this is very interesting, right? This lets you turn 2 cards in your hand, and of course 1 Don, into infinite counter for a character, right? And this was so close to being good. Like, if this... you know, we don't have 8-cost Kid, right? Like, if we had 8-cost Kid in black, maybe this would be justified. I think, if this said, discard a card from your hand, and then, like, end the battle or something, right? So, like, you don't take damage, no matter what it is, the character doesn't die. I think this would be very, 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 very good. Unfortunately, that is a hypothetical card, which this is not, and therefore this card is bad. Meteor Volcano as the final card here. This is a 2-cost event. Main KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less, and the trigger to draw 2 and trash 1. So, of course, the trigger, very, very nice. You're still basically getting that card, but you're able to filter, which is very good. And this 1 cost, you know, sometimes you go second, your opponent just played like a 1-drop down, sure, I'll KO it. And then later on in the game, in combination with the Kuzan, this deals with 6 costs, or you can combo it to deal with 7, 8, 9s, or deal with whatever is necessary. This is a decent card. Doesn't really see play outside of mono black, like like Garp and Zed don't want to play this card, but Smoker and Sakazuki certainly do. So, overall, my impressions for black. I think this is quite a strong showing. I definitely think black comes in as playable. I wouldn't say it's like busted top of the meta or anything. I think it's more fun than like competitively powerful, though certainly not bad. I don't want to give the impression that this is not a deck that could win events. This deck can definitely win events. Smoker is a solid deck. Zed is a solid deck. Garp, less solid, but, you know, I think, you know, I'm very, very excited to play black. I think there is a lot to unpack here. There's a lot to learn, and I'm very, very excited to get playing. If you guys found this video useful, please do like it, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content, check out my Patreon linked in the description. If you're interested in chatting all things TCGs, check out my Discord server linked in the description. That is it for this video. Thank you so much again. Like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one, where we're going to be talking about all the leaders. Cheers.